Hi everybody, Kathy here. Welcome to another session of yoga with me. Today we are going to peek into splits. This is also a great video for those of you who have tight hamstrings, want to stretch the adductors, inner thighs, groin, lower body. So you don't necessarily have to go all the way into a split, but I'm going to show you a lot of helpful postures and exercises that you can do to improve flexibility and maybe one day achieve the front splits. So in this class, we're going to be playing with 3 different types of splits: front splits, transfers, or middle splits, as well as on the wall. So make sure you have some space behind you or wherever you're practicing to use the wall to help you get a little bit deeper in some of our practices. So for our practice, we're going to need 2 blocks as well as a strap. If you like this video or like to see more peak posture practices or other styles of yoga, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to get more videos just like this straight to your inbox every week. Remember to hit that like button and leave me a comment below to let me know if this class worked for you. When you're ready, let's get started. We're going to meet on our mats in a supine position. So coming down into a supine position, we're going to grab for one of our blocks. Coming down onto your back, we're going to lift the hips up, place that block flat side underneath the sacrum, walking the feet out one at a time, allowing your feet to splay up to the side. So we're going to center here in a very passive waterfall position. So you notice that my hips are a little bit higher than my head. So we're extending through the hip flexors, the psoas muscles to warm up our lower body, preparing to go into some deeper hamstring, hip flexor, and adductor stretches. So arms out by your side, taking a few breaths here, closing the eyes, setting up for practice. Allowing your shoulders to fall down towards the mat, broadening across the collarbones. Deep breath in, breathing into the belly, finding expansion across the chest, through the upper body, feeling the breath flow from the crown of the head and breathing all the way down towards your toes. Begin to bring your awareness inward, so noticing how we feel here physically, noticing if there's any areas of the body we need to pay a little bit special attention to, being aware of our range of motions, maybe some limitations today, so not to push ourselves too far beyond our limits, honoring our bodies in our practice. Taking a scan through our mind, seeing if there's anything we can let go of today, any distractions that might not serve us in our practice. Take a breath in and letting go of those thoughts on the next exhale. Taking 3 more deep, full inhalations and exhalations. And let's begin to walk the feet back to center. So bring your feet in, take an inhale, press the hips up, and we'll slide the block, move it off to the side. We're going to grab for our strap. Placing your left leg down, right knee comes in towards the chest. We're going to place the strap into the arches of the feet. One hand on either side of the strap. Taking an inhale, we're going to flex the ankle, kick the heel up. On the exhale, slight bend through the knee as we bring the elbows in. First hamstring stretch of the day. Be kind to your body, nice and easy. We're just warming up the muscles here. No need to go into a full deep stretch. Continue to flex the ankle, push the heel up. Feeling the stretch into the calves as well as the hamstrings. And let's gently release, take both straps into the right hand. Left hand grounds over the left hip. So we don't want to roll our bodies over out to the side. So as we exhale, we're going to drop this right leg out. Recline, hand to big toe pose. Using a strap as needed. Head can roll over to the opposite side. Gentle spinal twist. And let's bring the head back into center. Inhale, lift that right leg up. And we'll switch sides. Hug the knee into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Pull that knee up towards the right shoulder. And exhale, we release. We'll switch sides. Pick up the left leg. Kick that foot up. Flex the ankle. Bring a bend to the knees. Take an inhale, lift. As we exhale, draw the elbows in. Slight bend through the knee as we kick up through the heel. Breathe here. And release. Inhale, bring that leg back to center. Both straps into the left hand. Right hand over the right hip. Exhale, we drop that leg out to the side. And we roll our heads over to the opposite direction. Three deep breaths here. Feeling the stretch in the lower body. We're gently opening up the hips. And inhale, bring that head back into center, lift the leg, and let's release the strap. Place it off to the side. Left knee in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Bring that knee in. And let's rock and roll up and down the length of our spine. A few back and forth here, massaging out the back. And we'll fold over, coming into a tabletop position. Fold over your ankles, and let's come forward. So making your way into a table position, let's press down to the hands and to the knees. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the sit bone, looking up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale into cow pose, spinal extension. Exhale into cat. Push the floor away, spread the shoulder blades. A few more here, closing the eyes if you like. Moving with the breath. Last time. Inhale, coming back into center. We're going to extend the right toes back. Inhale, point the toes. We're going to kick up. Allow the belly to soften. So drop down into a slight arch. We're going to kick and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Bend the knee. Kick the foot up. Setting up for tiger pose. So again, coming up onto your fingertips first. If you can, reach back, grab for the ankle or shin. If you need to, use a strap. Loop it around the foot. Let's take an inhale, find your balance, kick up. Again, stretching into the hip flexors, using that top arm to resist. One more breath. And slowly release, big step forward. Come into a low lunge, making your way up onto your thigh or using blocks underneath your hands. 3 deep breaths here. Nice and easy lunge to start. Front knee is directly over our ankles. Softening the shoulder as you breathe. And exhale, take the hands down, half splits. Hands on either side of the foot. We're going to flex the ankle, pull the sit bones back. Really important to dig that heel in so the toes are pointing up. So we're stretching from the heel all the way to our back sit bones. Hands on the floor or a block. Take an inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, bend the elbows slightly. See if you can lower your torso down just a few inches. Try to avoid rounding through the back to bring the head down. So we're looking for length in the body, length through the back of the legs. And release, walk forward all the way to the top of the mat. Step back, and let's come over to the other side. Take a deep breath in. Left toes point back. We're going to drop our belly, so sink the belly down, arch to the spine, and we're going to kick up for 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Pausing here, bend the knee, continue to point the foot up, coming up onto your right fingertips. We're going to reach that right hand back, grabbing for the foot or the ankle. Take an inhale, look up, find your balance, start to resist with that top hand. Kicking and pulling, holding it here. 1 more breath. And let's release, big step forward. Setting up in our low lunge. So making your way, cushioning your back knee to make it comfortable for you. Setting up here, front knee over the ankle, finding your alignment in low lunge. Breathing deeply. Shoulders relaxed, chest lifted. 3 more breaths. And let's release, take the hands down, flex the ankle, shift the hips back. So hands on the floor or onto blocks. Take an inhale, look forward, lift up through the sternum, looking ahead. Exhale, start to bend into the elbow, maybe dropping down. So we're hinging from the hips, keeping the chest lifted. Back is flat. And release, inhale, look forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, let's step back into our tabletop position. From our table, we're going to extend the right foot out onto the side. Inhale to come up into a kneeling position for Gait Pose. So take an inhale as you reach the arms up. Exhale, drop the right hand down, lean over to the right side. Use a block if you need, place it underneath your fingertips. Open up through the chest, reaching the fingertips towards the right toes, stretching through the inner thighs, opening up through the side ribs. And inhale all the way up. We're going to drop our left hand down, reaching hands opposite directions, finding balance in the side plank variation. We're going to bend the knee, reach back, taking your hand, catching the foot or the ankle. We're going to press the hips forward in this kneeling half moon pose. Keep pushing the hips forward. Find an arch through the back. And gently release, come back to center. And we'll switch to the other side. Left foot out, coming up. Hips are stacked over the knees, finding your alignment. Left toes are pointing towards the front. Big breath in, reach the arms up. Exhale, we drop the hand down, shin, floor, or a block. A few deep breaths. Pushing the right hip out to the side. And let's breathe in all the way up. Take your right hand down, extend, finding your side plank variation. And as we exhale, we're going to bend the knee, taking your top hand, catching the foot or ankle. Begin to kick the foot back, sending the hips forward, finding a nice stretch here through the psoas. Puffing the chest forward. 1 more breath. And exhale, we release. Coming back into center, taking the hands down, and we'll make our way into downwards facing dog. From our downwards facing dog, let's take a moment to pedal our feet. So bending the knee, dropping the thighs down one side at a time. Dropping the chest, dropping the head. Taking a breath in, we'll take the right leg up. As we exhale, bend the knee, open up the hips. Allowing the weight of that leg to work with gravity, pulling the hip open, stacking right hip on top of left. Inhale, come back to center, look forward, taking a big step to the top of the mat. Inhale, let's come up, high crescent lunge. Walk your feet slightly wider apart for better balance. We're going to drop the knee down towards the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming to center, taking a breath in. Exhale, twist open to the right side. Revolve your body. Nice twist to warm up the spine. And exhale, windmill the hands down to the ground. Step back, downwards facing dog. Shift the hips side to side. Left side this time. Inhale, left leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hips on the exhale. Looking forward, step that foot all the way to the top of the mat, setting up high crescent lunge. Keep your gaze steady, breath flowing, and bounce. Drop the back knee down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to revolve. Take your right hand forward, left hand back. And exhale, bring the hands back down to center. Step it back, downwards facing. Taking 3 breaths here, checking with our pace in our breath. Finding deep inhales and exhales. Keep our breath flowing. And we'll take an inhale. This time, left leg comes forward. We're going to step it all the way to the top of the mat. Windmill your arms up, warrior 2 position. So adjust your feet. Left toes will point forward. Right toes will point towards the long edge of your mat, parallel to the back side. So we're going to bounce a few times here, again warming up the inner thighs. So take your hands out, take a breath in. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower. Moving a few times here. And come into warrior 2. Reaching the arms out. Knee is tracking open towards the baby toe. And we'll slowly straighten up that front leg. Take a half step in with the back foot, standing up for triangle pose. Keep a block nearby if you need to bring the floor up towards you. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms out opposite directions. As we exhale, we're going to tip forward, reaching that left hand towards the left toes, right hip back. Exhale, tip from the hip. Bring your bottom hands down onto the floor or onto a block. If you notice your top shoulder is rounding forward, please place a block under, and this will allow you to come up a little bit higher, lean the chest back, shoulders stacked on top of shoulder, and we reach the arms up. Gaze up towards the fingers if that feels comfortable for the neck. Keep pressing down into that front big toe, grounding the entire foot into the ground. Pressing through the right foot, outer edges of the right feet, keeping the weight evenly distributed between front and back. Last breath. Gaze down, inhale, let's come all the way up, pivot your feet, and let's come to the other side. So right toes will point to the back of the mat. Our left toes is going to come parallel. We'll set up for warrior 2 on the other side. So let's start with a few bounces here. Drop the knee and push up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, push up. Taking the arms out once you're ready. Keep them soft, shoulders relaxed. And let's hold here for a few breaths. Soft gaze of the front middle finger. Knee tracks over the ankle and is opening towards the baby toe. Grounding through the back edge of the back foot. Keeping the weight even between right and left. We'll slowly inhale, straighten up that front leg. Take a half step in with the back foot. Inhale, reach the arms up, triangle pose. Inhale, stretch forward, right hand towards the front, left hip back. Exhale, tip, triangle. Bottom hand to the floor, fingers, ankles, or onto a block. 3 deep breaths in your version of triangle. Keep the front leg grounded. Try to keep the knees straight if you can, as we're still targeting the back of the calves and the hamstrings. Last breath. Gaze down. Inhale, let's press up, come up into center. Pivot so both feet are pointing forwards. Wide-legged forward fold. So reach the arms out. Taking a breath in. As we exhale, interlace the fingers behind your back. You can use a strap as well for this. Inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, we hinge forward, bowing towards the ground. Adjust the feet accordingly. We want to keep a micro bend in the knees. The wider your feet are, the closer you'll come towards the floor. If you're looking for a challenge, you can walk the feet in a little bit closer towards each other. A general gauge is how far our head is from the floor. If you can easily touch the ground, the top of your head, bring your feet in a little closer. And one more breath. Slowly, let's release. Inhale, come up. Release the hands, catch your waist, press into your feet, all the way back up to stand. We're going to turn our feet out this time. So the toes are going to point outwards and the heels point inwards. Side to side, side lunges. So take a block. I'm going to come down over towards my left side first. I'm going to flex my ankles so the toes are pointing up. If your hips are tight, I'm going to bring a block underneath my hands and I'm going to keep my hips slightly lifted. So my weight is coming forward, mostly into my hands, rather than sitting back on our hips. So let's take an inhale, come through center, drop down, over towards the right. My left ankle will flex, dig the heel in, toes are pointing up. So we're stretching the inner thighs, backs of the legs, moving side to side, side lunges. Maybe you'll find that as you get warmed up, it gets a little bit more easy to sit back into your heels. You won't need the block. If that's the case, let's take our hands to heart center. See if you can do this unassisted side to side lunges. Keep the legs engaged. Really important to flex the ankles. Let's do one more on each side. And come back to center. Slowly release. Inhale, come up. We're going to take the feet in. Turn so we're facing the front for pyramid pose. So you might need a block for this. So keep a block handy nearby. Left toes are forward. Right foot is pivot onto 45 degrees. There's a short distance between my feet, so about 3 feet apart. I'm going to take our hands to our hip creases. I'm going to turn a few times towards the left side to square my hips off to the front. Taking a deep breath in, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward. Crawl my hands down onto the shin or ankle, or grab for a block. You can use a block in front or one on each side. If you're comfortable, start to fold forward. And let's release. Inhale, look forward. All right, let's come into our first splits variation. Hands on the floor or onto a block. We're going to take our weight into this left leg and kick up, extend up through the right leg. So from here, I want you to start with a few pulses. So it doesn't matter how far your leg is. We're just going to work on kicking the foot back. So let's start with 5, as high as you can. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing splits. All right, we're going to keep a slight bend in this front left leg. Lift as high as you can. Drop the chest down. Use your fingers or your blocks. Continue to point the toe up. Finding balance. Maybe walking the hands back in line with your feet. And eventually we can try and grab for the ankles on both sides. And slowly we release. Coming back into center, take a big step back. Inhale, press up. We'll switch over to the other side. So pivot. Our right toes are going to point to the back of the mat. So adjust your feet, bring them in a little bit closer. Back foot is out on a 45-degree angle. We're going to turn a few times. So turn, turn, turn. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Let's take a deep breath in. Lift the chest. Exhale, come forward, the flat back, pyramid pose. Hands on the ground or onto a block. Dropping the chest, dropping the head. And let's look forward, crawl the hands about 6 inches in front of your right toes. We're going to pick up the back leg. So wherever you are, we're going to find a balance and just pulse. So kick up with the back left foot for 5, 4, as high as you can, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it here at your highest levels you can. Right knee slightly bent, so we're not hyperextending. Hands on the ground or onto blocks. Continue to kick and lift up. Point that top leg. So point the toes. Keep that left leg active. So we're not just hanging out in space here. Both legs are actively working. So standing split, we're just using gravity to help us get a little bit deeper into the stretch. So walking your hands back, maybe reach for that ankle. Holding at your max for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, big step. And let's come up. Inhale. Spin ourselves around. Windmill the hands down. Exhale. Take a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes together. Knees out to the side. Push the hips back. Rest the head down. 3 deep breaths. And let's look forward. Inhale, come up, hands and knees. Let's take a seat. Swing the legs in front. You're going to grab for your strap here. We'll take the right leg forward. Left sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Head to knee pose. Go ahead and grab for your strap. If you need it, loop it around the arches of the right foot. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, we bow forward. Again, flex that ankle, keep the toes pointed up, gaze forward, crown the head, reaching towards the front edge of the mat. Looking for length in the spine, rather than dropping the chest and the head down towards the ankle. If you can, go ahead. If you're just working on flexibility, let's look for a proper alignment here before we go into a full fold and compromising the length in our backs. All right, let's come up, switch sides, left leg out, right sole of the foot to the inner thigh, using your hands or your strap. Now, if you can, grab for your hands. You can add a little bit of challenge, place a block directly in front of your toes. So 3 heights, 3 length to work with. Breathing in, lift the chest, exhale, fold. Reaching the head forward, finding length in the back. Keep your sit bones grounded. And let's release. Inhale to come all the way back up to center. Let's cross the knees, come forward into our table position. So from here, we'll step the right foot towards the top of the mat. We're going to take a block on either side of our right foot. So let's come up and set up for a low lunge once again. So you should feel a little bit more open. Hips might come a little bit lower towards the ground this time. So coming up onto your fingertips or onto blocks. We're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to push the hips forward. Find a slight back bend. You can walk your hands back. Push the chest forward and out. Continue to drive the hips forward, lifting the chest. And exhale, come back to center. Pull the hips back, half splits, bowing forward. So here we're going to come into our full front splits. If you like to hang out here and work on your hamstring flexibility, just stay in this half splits position. Okay, if we're working our full splits, we're going to slowly inch that right toes forward. See how this feels. Okay, keep your hands onto these blocks. We're going to use them to help us gently come in and out of the posture. So we're going to bounce slowly here and shift the foot a little bit more further in front. If you have another block, you can place it underneath your thigh. Okay, depending on how far we are away from the ground. If you're about a block's width, you can use a block on its lowest height or turn it up, supporting underneath the thigh. If you find that you're pretty far down and it's just getting the knee to straighten, we're going to move the block underneath the shin or the calf. So depending on where you are, go ahead and make those adjustments with your props. If you're fairly close towards the ground, we're going to flip the blocks on its lowest height, or you can take your hands to the floor. So all we're going to do is press down, lift the hips, and gently lower. So we're not holding the splits for very long. We're just find a little bit of bounce here. Up and down, without shocking the muscles. And if you're in your full splits, we're going to come down, point the toes, try to square your hips off to the front. So finding that twist, remember when we were in our high crescent lunge and we twisted, by bringing that left hand forward, right hand back. So we're looking for that same movement. So let's take an inhale, reach the top arm up. As we exhale, we're going to reach across over to the outside of the right foot. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, we're going to twist. So find your balance here. On your hands, on your blocks, or in your twist. Squaring the hips off. Let's breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back into center. Press down into your hands. Lift the hips up. Slowly bring that foot back in. And all the way into our table position. Let's try the other side. Kicking the left toes back. Stepping forward into our low lunge. Coming here, dropping the hips down. A few deep breaths. Now let's take our hands back. So walk the blocks back. Take an inhale, press down, lift the chest. Push the hips, drive it forward towards the front edge of the mat, lifting the chest up. Exhale, push forward. And let's release, come back to center. One more half splits. So remember, feel free to hang out here. Breathe into the back of the leg. Work on your flexibility. And let's come forward. So slowly inch that left toes forward. Coming into a deeper lunge. Keep your hands on the blocks. Or one block can go underneath your thigh. So this is a great place to stay and work on your flexibility. You can move it forward underneath your calves. Or if you're almost there, we're going to keep our hands on our blocks. Flip it down so it's a little bit lower. And I'm just going to bounce, press into the palms, lift the hips. Exhale, sink into your full splits. Let's go for a few times here with the breath. And once you're settled, holding the front splits position, we're going to adjust our hips to make sure we keep our hips square so we're not opening up to the side too much for that true splits. Inhale, lift the right arm up. So right hand up, left toes forward. We're going to exhale, cross over to the outside. Inhale, bring that arm up. Exhale, twist. Finding a twist in the body. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. And bring it back into center. Press down to your hands. Slowly shift that leg back a little bit further. And remove the blocks off to the side. All right, so for our last quick exercise in the splits, we're going to be using a wall to help us get a little bit deeper into that front splits shape. So make sure you have a wall available to you. So we're going to start off with our hands about 3 feet in front of the wall. So coming into a down dog variation, we're going to lift up into downwards facing dog. Let's start with our right leg up. So kicking up, placing the top of your foot against the wall. Your back foot is going to slowly walk closer and closer to the edge of the wall, as are your hands. So you're going to push and push like you're in downwards facing dog. So pushing down through the palms, dropping your chest. You should feel a nice deep stretch in the standing leg. So the left leg should be a nice stretch here. And when you're comfortable, walk the hands back a little bit more. Bring the heel against the back of the wall. Dropping the chest, press down. Go until you feel comfortable. Walk the hands back. Maybe eventually we lift that bottom leg off the floor. Find your floating wall splits. And let's lower down. Crawl your hands out first. And bring that leg back down. Let's give our hands a little twist. Turn out the wrists, and let's try the other side. So start in a down dog position about 3 feet away from the floor, 3 feet away from the wall. Now let's come up. So this time we'll keep the right foot forward, take the left toes up onto the wall. So think of our down dog position where we press into the hands, dropping the chest. And we'll slowly walk the hands back. Take a breath in, exhale, lower the chest. Bring the right heel a little bit closer towards the wall every time. And eventually walking the hands back so far that you can lift that bottom right foot off the ground. Finding our floating wall splits. And to lower, we walk the hands out. Bring that foot in. And coming down, give our wrists a turn. How are we feeling? Doing good? Just have one more splits to try, and that's the transverse or middle splits. So coming forward, we're going to take our right foot out to the side, setting up, similar to Gait Pose. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dropping the left hand down. Right arm will thread underneath. For thread the needle, bring the ear down towards the floor. Take the top hand, reaching forward. Option to take this hand and reach it behind, looking for a half bind. Continue to press the entire sole of the foot. That right foot keeps grounded on the floor. Try not to lift even the baby toe. And let's release. Inhale, press up, easy twist. Exhale, we're going to come forward, keeping your hips over the knees into a puppy pose variation. So as you stretch forward, keep the hips lifted, dropping the chin, dropping the chest towards the ground. Stretch it out here in the middle. And let's release, walk the hands back slowly, and let's come to the other side. So we'll take the left foot out this time, setting up for Gait Pose. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Left arm will thread underneath, left ear to the floor. Top hand reaches up and forwards. Option to reach this hand back and behind, looking for the hip crease. And gently, let's release, give ourselves a push. Coming up into center, easy twist to open up the chest. And exhale, bring the hands down. So remember, we're going to keep our hips over the knees as we walk forward into our puppy pose variation. So stretch forward, continue to drop the chest, drop the head. Maybe a block can come underneath If you need to raise the floor, continue to sink the chest down. Keep grounding down through that left foot. Don't lift the outer edges. And let's release, come back to center. Inhale, give yourself a push. Bring that foot in. And let's come to face the long edge of our mats. So I'm going to grab a block with me as I come forward. So I'm going to start in frog pose. So begin to walk your knees as wide as they can. Flex the ankles so the toes are pointing to the front and back edges of your mat. So from here, I'm going to come down onto my hands, or you can grab for a block. Come down, walking onto your forearms, or come onto the floor. We're going to shift the hips front and back a few times. So really targeting the inner thigh, the abductors, adductors. This one can be a little bit more challenging than the front splits. So remember to give yourself time, warm up adequately, and do all these stretches that I'm going to show you prior to entering the transfers or middle splits. Okay, from here, let's come up, keeping your left leg in that bent knee shape. We're going to extend the right toes out. So we're going to come into half frog pose. So my left leg, remember 2 90-degree angles, one at the knee, one at the ankle, stays in frog. My right leg is going to be in that middle splits position where my foot is flat on the ground, toes are pointing forward. Again, using your hands or use a block to give you support. So we're going to come down onto our forearms, and again, rocking forwards and back. Last breath. And let's inhale, press up, drop the knee, bend. So we're going to come back into that frog shape on our right side. Our left knee will extend out. Ground the foot down, point the toes forward. Hands on the floor or on a block. Stay here, or we come down onto our forearm and we'll do a gentle rocking motion forwards and back, keeping your foot flat. So we're maintaining that middle splits position. Just a few more. And coming back up, inhale to lift, bend the knee, drop it down. Now let's come into our full middle splits. So we're going to start up on our hand, begin to walk your feet out as far as it feels comfortable. So let's start in a wide-legged forward fold stance. You're going to walk the hands onto the floor or use a block. So we're going to slowly heel toe the feet apart as far as it feels comfortable. Remember the position of our feet. Our toes are pointing forward. The outer edges of our feet are still on the ground. So we're going to come down into a place where we feel comfortable, either on your hands or you can come down onto your forearms. So we're going to go down. Take a breath in and exhale. Push out lower as you can for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back, bending one knee, pushing down, bring the knees in, one side at a time, nice and slow. Now let's come back, take a seat. All right, let's begin to cool down here, making our way back onto our backs. Walk the feet to the edges of your mat. Let's do some windshield wipers to release the hips, the groin. So side to side movement. And once we go to the right side, we're going to take our right foot, cross over the left knee, holding it here. And let's release, other side, windshield wiper a few times. And once you get to the left side, left foot crosses over the right. Hold here. A few deep breaths. And let's release, bring it back into center. I'm going to crisscross the knees in a reverse cow face pose. So bring one knee over the other, reach up, grab for the shin or the ankle, and exhale, pull the feet down towards you, keeping the back flat. And let's switch sides. Reach up, exhale, back is flat, relax the shoulders, breathing into the outer hip. And feel free to take any last postures you like before we come into Shavasana, whatever pose you need to help you feel relaxed and at ease. Releasing the feet down towards the floor, hand beside the body, gently closing the eyes, preparing for final relaxation. Great job, everyone. Thank you for sticking out with me for this entire class. Great work. Thank you, yogis, for tuning in with me. I hope you had a great practice. You feel a lot more stretch and open in the lower body. And remember, this is a consistent practice, so make sure you keep working at it and repeat these exercises and postures regularly, and you'll definitely see an improvement in your flexibility. And one day, who knows, maybe you'll achieve the splits or even the over splits someday. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to get more videos just like these straight to your inbox. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.